and shoot the shit and then see where this takes us. We're in this mood of just catching up, and because so we were supposed to get on at 4, but I had to pick up Robin, and the reason I had to pick up Robin is because we only have one car. So I did I tell you Bella was in a little fender bender a couple weeks ago?
You did not.
So
oh
yeah,
boy.
it was fine. She was coming back
Okay.
from work late at night or at 10:30, and somebody was coming across traffic and rammed into her. She was fine. She wasn't hurt.
Oh, really?
So
Oh,
yeah, so insurance is insurance is taking care of everything, and they're fighting each other out. So, but the car's getting fixed. And we dropped it off on Tuesday. And when Robin dropped it off, they said, we'll probably have it done this week. It's brand new too. We've had that car for a month because we traded in her last Civic and got a new.
okay.
So it was a month old.
A month old.
Yeah.
Ouch.
And
Ouch.
it's not bad. It's just the quarter panel on the driver's side, the driver's door, and the passenger door, all on the driver's side. It's not bad damage, but the level of effort that needs to happen. They got to take the doors off. They got to bang it out. They got to do all that work. So the guy told her, hey, listen, by the end of the week, you should have it. And I'm like, okay. So I just got a text as I was waiting for you to jump on, June 18th. And I'm like, yeah, that's not gonna work. We're gone.
This week or 2 weeks.
So I called them and I'm like, dude, that's not gonna work. You might as well just give me the car now and we'll bring it back in July. He's like, well, we already have it. We already have it. The doors are off of it. It's already getting taken care of. We're gonna probably have it in the paint shop tomorrow. And then, well, why am I getting a text that's saying it's gonna be the 18th? He's like, that's worst case scenario because of parts and it's COVID. I'm like, okay, well, here's the deal. I'm going to be out of town and not coming back to July. So we've already made appointments and meetings and took care of things for next week that we were under the assumption that we would have an automobile. So he's like, oh, let me look at this. So long story short, he's given us a rental car for Monday so we could get to where we need to go. And he said he's like, since it's getting started to get painted tomorrow and primed, he's like, you should have this by the latest Wednesday.
Oh, okay. That's way better.
Yeah, I almost.
Better you get a rental car for your cross-country trip then.
Yeah, they'd be Enterprise really happy putting about 7,000 miles on that car. Well, that's what's going to happen.
Unlimited, right? Unlimited miles.
Hey, buddy. You told me this. Here's where we're at.
Yeah.
Enterprise.
I told you I was going to be out of town.
So what? Yeah. So So it's been interesting. It's been an interesting.
That's lively. That's lively for sure.
You make it
well,
out.
Bella's okay. That's,
yes. Yeah, she was fine. She handled things well with respect to what she needed to do at the accident. So yeah, it's kind of nerve-wracking a little bit, but now every time she's out driving around, I'm like, but
yeah,
pleasures of being a parent.
Part of the process.
Yeah. So how are you doing?
We're doing well. We're just working our way into another Friday here. So girls have one more week of school after this. So things are wrapping up. So they're pretty excited. So other than that, we're just kind of figuring new things out each day almost as we go along. So we're just this week out of any other, I trashed myself Monday for Memorial Day. At a workout, we went in to 570 CrossFit and did Murph, which is like kind of more of a tradition or a tribute workout. And I had no business doing that work. At least no business doing that like I did it. And I am like paying consequences. It reminds me of doing the Silver Heels last year with no business being on that course. Like it's up there. I think I got rhabdo, man. Like I did a number on myself.
Well,
I could barely pull my
oh,
arm. Like
really?
that's it. That's it.
Well, that's Monday. Well, it's Thursday now. You'd think that'd be gone by now.
Well, it came, and that's what I thought. So that's why I got out the Google machine and started looking up rhabdo, because yesterday I was spent the whole day, like
Wow.
zero, cross-eyed all day long. And granted, like I think I'm adjusting to like the overcast weather.
Mm.
And it's kind of like a overcast, kind of rainy-ish day. But I was like, I have 30 minutes for a break for lunch, and I almost went just to my truck to sleep for 30 minutes. Like I almost went and did that. And
Wow.
then I had to go look at a house right after work, and it was like just suck it up mode. And then of course then we decided to put an offer, and then next thing I know it's like 10:30, 11 o'clock, and like just I was maxed out. But I like broke a fever in the middle of the night, I think, too.
Wow.
Like I was like chilled. I got chills last night, and like I got worked over. So it
But I
was
mean,
interesting.
it. I guess it was just the pace at which you were going.
Yeah, and like not having done like much of anything like that here recently. Like I've been just getting like cardio and everything. But so anybody that doesn't know, Murph is named after Lieutenant Michael Murphy from the SEALs that was killed in action. But one of his favorite workouts was he called it body armor. So you do a 1 mile run, then you come back and it's 100 pull-ups, 200 push-ups, 300 air squats, and then a mile run. Um, so if you went at a good modest pace, like I should have, that would have been one thing. But I just knocked it out. I just got it done. And it was, I was sore kind of the next day. I'm like, okay, 2 days soreness, the delayed muscle soreness. I was like waiting for that, and it was like at a whole other level. so,
Wow.
so that's what I kind of been working my way through here this week. So I'm actually glad this week I don't have a physical job right now, because that's what I've been bent about. This week has been a lifesaver, because I was like, if they call me out there to start wrenching and in the plant getting some of this work done, I was like, I don't know if I can. Like,
You still have one day left.
yeah, anything's possible. Well, by tomorrow, I think I could, do what I got to do. We cut up a branch that snapped off after work, but I was with the handsaw, like, whew, break it up.
Wow. That's
So,
that's that's good. Well, that's good to hear because we are we are human. We're not everybody. When when I effed up my knee, people were going to say, so you are stoppable. You can be stopped. Not that we're like invincible or anything like
yeah.
that, but
And
but
you're gonna stop running, right?
well, I did. I
Yeah.
did.
But that's what people think, you're just done. Like,
Oh, forever, yeah. And
yeah, stick a fork in me.
yeah, but because they would think you get a what's the word I'm looking for? Kind of disappointed, right? And you get frustrated. So like, screw it. I don't want to do it again because whatever the reason, I don't want to get hurt again, or you feel bad, you feel sorry for yourself, kind of like we were talking about last week. We're having a pity party for ourselves, but
Yeah.
no, it's just it's one of those obstacles that are thrown at us to say, okay, listen, really, how bad do you want this? You know, um, the one thing I forget where it is, but I read it like once a month, and it's just stuff like that is an opportunity to see really, how tough are we? And I don't want people to interpret that the wrong way. The whole don't be a wuss, don't be a sissy, you got to be a man. When I'm saying toughness, it's more along the lines of not just mental toughness, but what do we got here inside of us? What are we made of inside of us? What's our grit like? And you know that's not going to stop you from going to the gym probably within the next couple of days, or getting a workout in the next couple of days. It's
Oh
gonna
yeah.
punch it's gonna punch in the
Just
gut.
just patience right now. It's
Yeah.
let the body mend and heal and be actually come back stronger. That's what I'm hoping.
Well,
And then
that's
get back
adversity, right?
after it. Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
adversity. That's the thing. Adversity breeds growth, and typically they're all learning experience. And this is the kind of the stuff that I'm going through right now. It's a learning experience, and it's not just from a physical perspective. Look at what you're going through from a professional perspective too. How about you getting out of your comfort zone? We both kind of are going. I'm kind of a little bit further along in that process, but in your perspective, you have the professional, the career growth, right? You have the relationship growth with Cindy,
Yep.
right? Because that's what you guys are going through, and just your family, which and your parents. So you got a couple angles,
Yeah.
right?
I got
You
tons
got
right
that
now.
whole growth, right? The whole, selling the house, buying the house, the moving. So you've got this whole cornucopia of opportunities for growth and coming up. You guys are definitely going to come out the other side better than. I'll retract that because you never necessarily know, but I know you will come out better. But you're definitely going to come out different people than you were going into this, 6 months ago.
Oh, for sure. I mean, within the first few days, that was pretty obvious, and I underestimated, which I tend to do. I think that's what gets us into trouble is we underestimate, certain situations that planning ahead and prepping until you're in it then, and then by then it's like, all right, well, we're in the thick of it, keep moving forward right now, because it's what sticks out a lot to me is the twins. I underestimated that going into it, like we had a choice or anything, but
Right.
going in while Cindy was pregnant, it's like, piece of cake. Like, this would be awesome. We buy two of everything. They'll be best friends. Twins are cool. And they, within weeks, just like sat us back both on our rears and have been doing so for 9 years.
Right. Right.
So,
Well, Jesus.
but yeah, and then like this situation too, it's like you write it down, you use Project Microsoft even, and you have your established timelines, and are you on budget and on schedule? It's like, yeah, okay, but when you're in it day to day, and we have this adversity right now, you can't predict that. If you could, then you can make a lot of money elsewhere, but to
Right.
be able to line out all the obstacles and challenges, physically, mentally, spiritually, you're not going to know that until you take that first step into it. So,
Yeah, you can't. I mean, we talk a lot about races, and it's the same metaphor. I was thinking about this morning on my run, how much, how much it truly is a metaphor, and there, that's where we learn patience, right? Like you said, it's a testament to patience. And when we start setting expectations, not necessarily how things are going to go, but what I'm focused more on right now as we're talking is the timeline of how we want things to happen in, right? Once we start doing that, we're setting ourselves up for disappointment because
yep.
shit never happens in the time manner that we want it to, right? And it we think it's going to take 3 days, it's going to take 3 weeks. It's just because you never can anticipate the obstacles. I think there's some things that, like in your situation, right, with the move across country, and I speak from experience with this, there's a couple things that you could anticipate, right? And then you have that hope, right? You have that visualization that, hey, it'd be wonderful for it to go this way. Perfect example is with this car right now, right? My anticipation when this went down is it's gonna take 2 weeks to fix that. 2 weeks to
Yeah.
fix that. And then Robin went in and they said, oh, by the end of the week. And I was still a little skeptical. I'm like, I don't know. I mean, it might not look terrible and look bad. It might look like there's just a little bit of work. What's the word I want to say? It's just cosmetic. But
Hmm.
in a situation, you got to take doors off, you got to take panels off, you got to break it, you got to pound it, you got to paint it, prime it, sand it, all that shit. It, who knows if they need parts? God forbid. I'm like, 2 weeks. Got that call this week. And then I'm like, the
Yeah.
18th, I'm like, all right, that's a little bit longer than I anticipated.
Yeah. Yeah. I want Goldilocks right in the
Right?
middle, just
Right?
right.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I want everything just right. So,
Well, my take on that is it was a seasoned employee that said 18 weeks because he said his expectations right. it was probably a new guy talking with Robin that
Well,
said, "Oh yeah, yeah, we'll have it done. I'm gonna even bump it up a little better."
well, I think what happened. I think all this stuff is kind of automated, right? So once they get into the shop and they actually look at it and they determine what is the extent and the level of effort it's going to take, they plug it into their system, and I got an automatic text saying, "Hey, it's going to take,"
Oh, okay,
and
yeah,
they
and they have the contingency built in there already.
right, they're saying we're gonna under promise, meaning we're gonna say it's going to be X amount of days, but we're really going to set them up for a happy ending because we're going to bring it in 3 days earlier, or a week earlier, whatever the case may be.
Yeah, yep, yep, exactly, exactly. But
But we don't do
all
that.
of that is out of your control though, too. So, and
Absolutely.
that's where, you can get bent, and people do get bent, but it's all, you got to know what's in your control and what's out of your control. And
Right.
that's where I'm at with, mainly with being homeless. It's, we can stress and, just fret about what this market's doing, which this market's ridiculous right now. But it is what it is right now, and we are stuck with the market that is presenting itself to us. And I could lose sleep over that and wake up and scroll through Zillow and Realtor.com, and that action is not going to make our dream house appear, once we start scrolling down. So it's knowing what's in your control. And then, yeah, and unfortunately, dealerships are the same way. It's
Right.
once you let that car go into that like black hole abyss of a garage door, you're just letting it go, and like the power is gone.
Well, it's interesting, right? Because as you're talking, I'm thinking about the situation that you're in, and the situation that we're going through too. Like when this shit happened, it was me gratitude the day after it happened that we weren't in the hospital, right?
Yeah,
The expectation with the car was whatever, that's what we pay insurance for. We'll take care of it. And then that process with the insurance company was actually beautiful. Um, with your situation, and I'm going to circle back to the opposite of this, with your situation, because your environment right now, and all of you talk to anybody in the world, pretty much our environments every day are essentially chaotic. We come into chaos all the time within just a normal day, right? But in your situation, your awareness is heightened, right? Because there's so many things that are uncertain, uncontrollable, and
yeah.
you literally have to take it moment by moment. So I'm not going to, I don't want to say it's easy. It's definitely not easier for you to go through this moment and have that patience and have that awareness and acceptance of not being in control, to have that acceptance of, what, I'm not going to spend my day scrolling to see if our perfect house is going to come up. I'm just going to have faith that it's going to happen, because I'd exhaust myself doing that. And what I'm saying, Brian, is like when so you're not being getting exhausted and falling into that trap, if you will, right? Versus when we get comfortable, right? And we don't have that heightened awareness, because the life that we're perfect example, kind of the life that you and I came from
Yeah.
6 months ago. We were kind of in a comfortable situation, personally and professionally. We really didn't. There wasn't much thinking we had to do during a day. During the day, we had our routines and we had our engine flowing pretty well. But then you inject all this chaos and change into it exponentially. The chaos and change, right?
Yeah.
Then we're, I think, at least what I've found out is that I have to kind of step back and let things flow, because there's nothing I can, the only thing I can control is how I respond to the situations and things that are happening. Does that make sense?
Yeah. Well, yeah, you have to take that step back rather than getting caught up in it. Because that's what I'm doing right now. It's what do I have control over? What do I not have control over? So right now I have control over how much I'm present with two girls when I'm not at work. So that's what I'm focused on. That's like top of the list right now for me. So that means Saturday morning breakfast with two of them, and they have undivided attention from me. So I have that, and I can take control over that, or at least try to
Right.
make two girls as happy as they can be with pancakes and bacon. But yeah, and then the house, but and then again, it's we're in a good place, so it's hard. Everything presents itself. And if we were in a hotel having to pay so much, a night, then there would be some hustle probably, and just making something happen. But that's not the case. I mean, we're in a very good spot. I mean, we have quality time with my parents. They were looking forward to this. It's not like we're stressing and cramping their style out. Like they were excited for this as we were. So this is all working itself out in that
Yeah.
regard. So it's like, okay, well, this is good. So trying to work on new skills with the job, that's something I have control over. What I don't have control over is right now how much I don't know. The only thing I know is the only thing you know is how much you don't know.
Mhm.
So it's kind of all that. You're right. You gotta take that step back and almost pick out and make two separate categories there. And then focus in on one side and let the other just kind of work itself out. Because I think as you focus in on the controllables, let's say, all that stuff is still churning and evolving, but you're still moving in
Yeah.
a forward progress. And as you're moving and focusing in on that, then stuff on the other side all of a sudden not work itself out, but naturally evolves. I say more of an organic, rather than trying to like just cram and try to make something that you really can't affect, because that's a time suck and that's an energy suck. And
Mhm.
then it's the end of the day, you're just done. And then if
And
you're looking forward to it the next morning, that's a bad way to go to bed.
yeah, and even if you go out there, and this is the point on it, right? And you were hitting it. Even if you go out there and try to control it and try to chase it and try to create a specific result in a specific timeline, it I don't want to say never, but 99.99% of the time, it doesn't meet your expectations or standards. And so that's when you got to let go of those expectations and standards and just kind of, I'm not saying, I don't think we're saying here, folks. I know we're not saying here, folks. Let's sit on the couch on our asses and just kind of let, you know, the gypsies we let them sort things out and we don't put in the work. No, but you put in the work, you show up every day, you stay consistent, you know, and control what you can control and let the other stuff kind of play itself out. It's you got to have a level of faith, right, and
Yep.
belief that what you're doing is moving forward towards your mission. But
Yeah.
there's so much you just got to let go, and I've struggled with that so often. But as I'm getting very very close to the age 50, I'm starting to learn a little bit more.
A little bit at a time right there. But no, it's yeah, and you got to know when, yeah, like you're saying, not just sit on the couch and, let everything go and flow, but you do have to pick your openings, when to dive in and when to get
Mhm.
aggressive too, and when to like suck it up. Because for me, even last night too, to be honest, like I wanted to just come home and fall over on the couch. Speaking of,
Right.
I would have had zero guilt about just laying flat out, zero guilt whatsoever. But that wasn't a moment that I could do that. There was this house with everything. It there wasn't it wasn't something that we could put off and postpone. It had certain things have to happen at that time, and this was one of
Yeah.
them. So it was like, okay, like get after it, and that led to like a whole evening then. And it's like, okay, well, this too shall pass. Bedtime will be at some point, just not as early as you'd like it. And that's the way
Yeah.
the world works. It's this too shall pass. It works very well in events and ultra endurance stuff, and it works almost on a day-to-day basis. When you're in the thick of it, you just the reminding that this isn't going to last forever. And you could do anything. Like it was the workout was a good example. I wasn't going to do the workout, but it was a good opportunity to do a workout with my mom and pay tribute to those who have served. Because I'm a sucker for that one, especially. And
Right.
that one, it was like, all right, yeah, granted, I'm not ready for this, but, just to show respect and honor, you could do anything for 1 hour. And that's what I did. So it's like, this too shall pass, and even, well, a week of soreness, that too shall pass too.
Right.
So,
I mean, it's cool how, and this is for everybody, right? It's cool how we, and when I say we, I'm talking about the collective here, how we are able to find that next gear, right? Because I'm not coming in and out of the office like you are. I'm coming in and out of my office usually at the end of the day here, or coming after this. And yeah, there's like, okay, well, there's dinner, and usually there's someone that needs to be picked up or taken, especially now having one car. And yeah, you want to collapse on the couch and watch mind-numbing TV. And there's nights that happens, but then there's nights where things need to be done. Things need to be taken care of. And maybe 2 hours ago, the level priority on that thing was low, but for some reason, something happened out of our control that escalated that priority up to here. And our mindset was, okay, 3 hours ago, I think I might be able to crash on the couch tonight and watch my numbing TV. And then our mind goes to that energy level, that lower energy level, but then that priority kicks in, or that new thing comes in that takes the priority up, and ironically takes your energy level up,
yep.
and it's really wild to see that happen, how there's moments where we could be completely exhausted and have no desire or inspiration to do anything other than put our feet up and crack a beer, and then something happens where we're thrusted into a situation. And I think in the majority of cases for us collectively as a society, I think we tend to raise to that level of performance that we have to be at in order to accomplish that task or event or that priority.
Yeah. And that could be on a daily basis with a lot of people, probably,
Mm-hmm.
just getting out of bed
Yeah,
with that mentality. Like
going to a
snooze is easy.
going to a shit job, man. I mean, how many people hate their freaking job, but they have a choice that they could quit their job, and that might not necessarily even be a choice, right? They may have to gut it out each day to put food on their table, to pay their bills, to get them through that next point. Um, and there's, unfortunately, I think there's more people than not out there that are going through that process. Um,
Yeah.
but still, there, even though they hate it, right? They're still doing it, and that could be how many different scenarios could we bring up to talk about that situation?
Oh, yeah. 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 There's a time, and it's what I think if people could reward themselves, or just be kind to themselves, if they are having that mentality with work, get done with work, and not necessarily like a happy hour every single day, but like get out for that hike, or, just do something pleasant or
Yeah.
rewarding, a four-wheeler ride around the trails and stuff,
Just
something.
a walk around
Yeah.
your
Walk
neighborhood.
around the neighborhood. Yep.
But I
Yep.
here, I mean, we're kind of going off into another direction too. I mean, in those situations, like I said, you could find something else, and work to find something else, and that could be, getting home 5 or 6 at night and having your dinner time with the family or whatever, and then 8 o'clock, 9 o'clock, you're on your computer or you're on your phone trying to make connections to find that new job. But if that's not an option, right? You have the ability to make a decision and choose this. Again, this is what we can control, right? What's your other outlet? Could it be reading books? Could it be writing? Could it be uh, playing an instrument or sports? Could it be, video games? I mean, if that's an outlet, that's an outlet. If that's bringing you joy and peace and um, I don't like using the word balance, but if it's giving you a level of satisfaction and fulfillment, that's taking away from that um, frustration and aggravation of your job.
Yeah.
You do it, and that frustration and aggravation doesn't necessarily have to be with your career. It could be with a relationship. It could be with a hobby. It could be with anything. You just there's certain things we could choose to have outlets, and I think that sometimes gets lost in people, um, and they just live in that bubble, believing
Yeah.
that this is what I have to do.
Yeah. Well, they're stuck in that valley. It's, find your peak for that valley, whatever that may be. And like you said, it could be many different things for many different people. So, but it's up to you to kind of do that self-reflection to find out, what really gets you going and is a highlight for almost every day or maybe a weekend and stuff, just to be able to feel alive, blow some steam, and get ready to do it all over again. So
Yeah, I would hope people could find something daily, you know,
yeah.
daily, because looking for that one thing a week is tough. But if that's the
Yeah,
thing,
and maybe it's getting out of the city, but try to prep for your country weekends, by finding a local park and stuff and getting out there on a daily basis, and lead up to maybe a summer vacation or weekend getaways. So it's amazing what the studies are now too, with just outdoor exposure.
yeah,
What they're finding, like depression, like one of the biggest remedies, I guess, not in a prescription bottle right now. It's just the simple act of getting outside and feel sunshine and breathe in fresh air. So it's like, why why is that so hard right now to prescribe? So that's something that's make you go, hmm.
and that's why is it hard for people to do and want to do? I mean, you could be just sitting on your porch,
Yeah.
pull up
Yeah, nothing physical.
it doesn't have to be
At
physical, just
all.
sitting, some of the, I mean, I was doing it this morning, man. I was out stretching on the back turf, in the backyard.
Uh-huh. Uh-huh.
And, I was just stretching on my back, looking up at just the leaves on the trees, blowing
Yeah,
back and forth. And, talk about
natural
peaceful, man.
soothing.
Yeah,
Yep.
clouds going overhead, shifting overhead. I mean,
Yep. But
it's
now there's apps you can get for that, but it's not the same.
there's an app for everything.
Everything. Yeah. Oh, you want to be outside in a calm and peaceful surrounding? Here you go.
And you could
You
get
don't have to leave your house.
the app is going to make the sound and make you feel there. There's spray that you get at the house. It's going to smell like pine needles and wet leaves and grass. And you don't have to leave your hole. Just stay in your hole.
Yeah, yeah. Just stay put. Stay put in your cave.
And that's okay, man. But the thing is, if that's the case, if your cave is your solace
Come.
and that's where you need to
Yeah,
be, then hey, do something in your cave, whatever that might be. If it's like I said, people give people are gonna hate me for this. Um, people give kids a hard time. I mean, adults. I see a lot of adults that they're gamers, right? And they'll spend
yeah.
hours and hours and hours in their gaming room playing games, and they're getting good at it.
Getting
But
paid.
in some instances, they're getting paid too.
Yeah,
If that's what's providing that person, I'm not going to say a kid. I'm just going to say a person, because I know adults that spend
oh
they'll
yeah.
work they'll work their 8 hours and they'll play the games for 8 hours. If that's going to give you your release, if that's going to give you your satisfaction and joy, who am I to tell them that that's not what they should do.
Yep, to each their own. It's like I said, everybody's got to find whatever it is, works for them. So, knitting, crocheting, hey, if that's your release, if that's the way to do it, then yeah, start knocking out those scarves and, go to town. But
Meditation, man, it's their form of meditation.
yeah, just moving meditation. There's all sorts of different movements. So no one is right, no one's wrong with that. So
No.
that's
We will encourage you guys just to go find something, and do something. I mean, I wanted to say, going right back to the job situation, if if you're miserable and you're hating getting up every day, then do what you got to do to make things happen. But you also have that choice to start looking to see what else might be out there. Um, I don't even know what the job market is like right now. I don't know. I get
people
called by
people need work, or I mean,
people. Yeah,
there's work out there.
people are getting called every day about jobs. So
Yeah.
uh, I'm sure there's work out there to be had.
Oh yeah, it's a matter of some people want to do it or not, but it's there.
Yeah.
But
Oh,
yeah,
so
it's
I completely forgot. I'm drinking water because
oh, your cleanse,
yeah.
yes.
So what do you got going on, by the way?
Yeah, I've been sipping on it here. Since I'm back east now, I have access to one of my old time favorites out of Vermont, which is Long
Long
Trail.
Trail.
Yep.
Nice.
It's and then this is, well, they could have had this out for 20 years and I wouldn't known, but it's VT IPA. So it's pretty rad. It's their license plate there. So
I saw the green and the way it was angled. It looked like it was white.
a
I thought
Rolling Rock.
no. I thought it was going to be a Jenny cream ale. And I was like, whoa.
I did have a Jenny dry hop actually. Uncle Hap had some, so
Never
it was
heard of
like,
it.
yeah, it was tasty. It was, yeah. There's so the thing is, I'm not liking the trend when I'm shopping for beers now, because the trend now is 4 packs at 12 pack pricing. I don't know if you've seen a lot of these crafts beers.
Let me now, are the 4 pack 16 ounces or are they 12 ounces?
They're 16, but come on.
I mean, you're getting one beer.
Yeah, so okay, 5 beers for a 12 pack.
Yeah.
I don't know. I was getting all excited about a few, and I went to pull them off. I'm just like, oh, that's 4 beers.
Well, here's the thing, right? And I have noticed that probably the last year that I'm seeing more 4 packs. But usually when I see the 4 packs, Bry, they're pounders. They're the 16
Yeah,
ounces. But when they're a 4 pack, what I've seen is that they're typically the craft beer and it's the higher alcohol content.
yeah. I think one was like 8, but well, I guess, well, that Eddie line, that Epic Days that we were drinking. See, that's where I get spoiled because they knock those things out, tall boys, 6 packers, decent price. So I've kind of lived a spoiled life up in the high country, and now I'm like, come on, just 4? Give me more. Give me more than
Well,
that.
I'm planning. The plan is to be coming back there with a case of Mother Road Tower Station. So
All right.
that's the plan. How many make it back, we'll see. But
Yeah. Because
my goal,
maybe get like another, man, throw another case in there.
we'll
How
see.
many how many nights you stopping?
Well, that's the thing. I mean, my plan is to be on the wagon pretty much probably till we get to Nashville. So that'll be till Thursday night, but we're driving straight through till Nashville. So
Oh, okay. Oh, that's not bad.
I mean, when I'm in Nashville, I'll be sipping on some whiskey there. I don't know how many. I might have a beer, but it's going to go to whiskey. Uh,
Yeah,
and then we're going to Asheville, and up there I'll be drinking. I'll probably be bringing some things home from Asheville too to see
yeah,
what they
yeah,
got there. But
yeah.
yeah,
Oh, you're gonna
that's
have the
my
good
goal.
variety down there.
Yeah, it should be a good trip. But going back to the Genesee, so now we're shifting to some beer, folks. So we're going all over
All
the map.
over.
We had an intro, we had some actual nuggets, some growth and some personal development, hopefully for you guys. And
We're
now we're
just
going to
all
go to
over the
beer.
place these days.
So
I move and the whole
well,
podcast
here's the thing.
agenda goes
Yeah,
away.
we promise you we're going to start getting back to like I don't want to say relevant topics because there's always relevancy in here, but we'll actually go back to a structure once we all get settled in and
Yeah.
get back to somewhat of a routine. But this is a shout out to Andy's Pizza out in Peckville, Pennsylvania, which is not very far from where you're at right now.
Yep.
Uh, sponsors, we have a lot of opportunity for sponsorship, folks. So just let you know.
Yeah,
Um,
just PM us.
yeah, that's right.
Facebook,
Yeah, just
Instagram. Yeah.
yep, just let us know. Uh, so I remember this was within the last decade. Yeah. So we were up there from Philly from a weekend or something like that. It might have been a Memorial Day weekend, and I was getting takeout pizza. We're staying at I think Tina's house, so I pop in there and hey, got a order for I think Paul was with me and pop in for order for Mike. Um, oh yeah, it's another 10, 15 minutes. Go grab a beer there. And I mean, Andy's Pizza, I would not classify as a. I mean, the bar pretty much looks like a bar back in '60s. This is a place where it's not far from Valley View's football stadium. So like any Friday night before and then after a game, it's packed. This place used to smell like cigarette smoke 20 years ago after they haven't smoked a cigarette in there probably 20
Yeah.
years prior. But in any event, they had Genesee on tap. And I'm like, yeah, I'll take it. And they served them in the little 10-ounce glasses.
Yep.
And it had to be like, I can't imagine those beers were more than $1 as I was
Yeah.
sitting there the 15 minutes for my pizza. But ice cold, regular Jenny. They had regular Jenny on tap, and they had Genesee cream ale, and they had 6-packs to take out, which the 6-packs were probably like $3 a pop too.
Yeah, I was gonna say not much more than the draft. Well, that's when you just sit with a bunch of ones on the
Yeah,
on the counter. You just another one, another
you
one.
just come in with a roll of quarters, baby, and pop that on the counter.
Slam it all down.
I will tell you, so it's been a while, but Andy's Pizza we will definitely stop at Andy's. It's a go-to anytime we're up in northeastern PA. So their pizza is phenomenal. Highly recommend it if you guys, I'm sure we'll stop there. I'm sure we'll stop at Ravello's on our way back down to Philly. So down in Old
Oh
Fort.
yeah.
So a
Yep.
couple shout
Yep.
outs to the pizza capital of the world and my favorite pizza places up there.
Oh, it's such good pizza, and you can't imitate that anywhere else.
It's hard,
It's
man. It's hard.
something's in the water, the Northeast PA water.
Well, Andy's Pizza, I do believe they put beer in the dough, and you could actually smell it and taste it when you're
Oh,
in there.
really?
Yeah. It's
It's that
very, very unique.
Jenny dough.
I can't. I wonder if it is. I wonder if it would be Genesee that they would put in there. That's the what do you want to call it? The urban legend, if you will. That there's,
Yeah.
but I mean, you could when you walk in there, you could smell it and you could taste it in the dough
Oh,
too.
it's
So
distinct. Yeah, exactly. Well, speaking of that, we just had Coney Islands from Shamokin yesterday for dinner. So that's been a long time since we've had that. But Mom and Aunt Patty were down in Shamokin yesterday, and they came back with a whole huge order of Coney Islands. So that, like, you want to talk about not able to like replicate at all. That's in the middle of Shamokin.
they have the one in Scranton there too, under the viaduct,
They do. It's
right?
not. It's yeah, but it's. I don't think it's like a chain. I don't know,
No.
but yeah, the Shamokin one has been around. I mean, almost forever, if not close to. And like I don't know how, but they made it through COVID. They're still up and running, and we just got to try to seek them out while they're still in business because
So,
I literally grew up on that, and you can't even at the one in Scranton. It's like no.
so Coney, for those that aren't familiar with Coney's, I mean, it's a northeast. I thought it was like tri-state area, like New York, New
Yeah,
Jersey, and PA. I've only seen them in New York and northeastern PA, but you're talking about like a wiener, a dog on the buns. The buns usually make it, but you got chili sauce, you got the onions, you got the
and
mustard.
onions. Yeah.
It's a complete mess, but it's fantastic.
Oh yeah. Well, this one, Schmoken does hamburgers too, and it's
Yeah,
not. It's more of a sloppy Joe consistency, I'd say. But you can get cooked onions on there. You can get raw onions. Whatever it is, and even the wax paper, like down to the wax paper,
yep.
is different. It's just unique. I mean, it's for us. It's like you can actually still take a step back in time.
The first time I
There,
had,
yeah,
the first time I had a Coney was
yeah, yeah. You can say hi.
hi sweetheart, how are you?
Good.
How was the rain?
What?
How was the rain? How was dancing in the rain?
Good.
Good.
That's fun.
Yeah.
Yeah, something different for us. We don't get that much.
Uh, the first time I had Coney, I mean, I remember you guys were up there for spring break, and I told you to go down to the Glider Diner because you were at
Yeah,
that facility. So I don't even know if the Glider Diner is still open, but that I think was the first time I ever had a Coney was there.
yeah, yeah. I think the glider diner's still there as well.
Okay,
So
so the Glider Diner is still down by, well, it used to be Providence Field, but now it's the high school stadium, right?
yeah, yeah. I don't know I forget what the name is now, but yeah, it used to be Memorial.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. So yeah, it's pretty neat here getting back and just seeing some of these places that have never missed a beat. It's just same old, same old.
You know, I wanted to ask you, it just popped into my mind. How was it driving uh, past God, the Chinchilla, the store in Chinchilla,
The variety
the
store?
variety store? Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, it's a whole new scene now. Well, and so it's a variety store, which was, now they're having like a Sunday flea market in that spot.
Is it an open space now?
Pretty much. I think it's like concrete slab. It's down to the concrete slab.
Wow. So there's nothing
And
there?
that's it. No, not yet.
Wow. Is Armetta's still there?
Armetta's is there is still something there. I don't think it's Armetta's now. But
Okay.
Jake's Barbers, Jake retired,
Right.
but actually one of the Abington alumni came in and took it over from him. So
It's still a barber shop?
it's still called Jake's. Yep. Yep. There's Cora.
Hi, sweetheart.
But yeah, it's pretty cool. He's left it the same. I've seen pictures in the background, and all the newspaper clippings. That's all up there, and I think like Rob Harris with like Hi Jake is on still after like a Abington football game. So it's pretty neat to see. Casey kept everything just the way it was. So it was neat. I'm trying to think. Oh, the strip farther down is, that's a lot has changed there. Well, the Krispy Kremes there.
Yeah.
That's a big hit with the girls. But Nicholas Village, they tore all of that down
Yeah. I
under
saw
the
that.
bridge.
I saw that. They were,
So
I want to say they closed that down and we were still there because I
could have
believe
been.
we came up, and it might have been one of the times we came up to see you up in Clark Summit when you guys were visiting from Colorado and we were still living in PA. Because I
Yeah,
think there like a Price Chopper across the street or something like that.
Weiss Market.
Weiss, and we came out and I'm like, it was empty, and I want to say there was a big for sale sign or closed for business sign, and this is probably maybe 4, 5 years ago.
I was gonna say that was a while. Yeah, yeah, I think it did sit empty. So yeah, it's some areas and it's crazy. This could be anywhere, but some areas you can go into and like we just mentioned, have hasn't skipped a beat, hasn't changed an inch, and then you cross the street and all torn down and something brand new.
Well, the whole area up by the mall, the Viewmont Mall. I mean, they got pretty
Oh
much
yeah.
everything up there.
Oh, everything you need. Yeah. I think it was Tanner. We took Tanner during April during spring break. We took him down to that riverfront
Hmm.
turf arena, and we drive down there from here, and you pulling in the parking lot. He goes, "Is this it? We're here already?" Because he's usually used to like an hour and a half or an hour average drive time just to get to a practice. And then we went up the other way, and he's like, there's an Olive Garden right here, and he was just like naming out all these franchises and stuff. It was pretty funny. It doesn't take much for these kids.
In northeastern PA, everything's 15 minutes away.
Exactly, and there's 20 different ways to get there,
Oh yeah, yeah. I mean,
and they're all 20.
I remember, all the folks from Philly, all the boys from Philly. There was 2 separate years that we had a party up there and hanging out, and I mean, it's not the same as you guys being, you guys are an hour plus away from anything, or were an hour away plus from anything in fair play. But they're coming up from Philly, where it's not necessarily an hour, but it might be a half an hour to go to a Walmart or something like that, depending on where you live in the city.
Yeah, and traffic.
And traffic mostly. But they came up here, and we'd get in the car to go to get something to eat, or go get beer, or go get this, or go. How long is this going to take? It's 15 minutes away. It's 15 minutes away. Mike, you say that every time. It's 15 minutes.
Yeah.
Everything's 15 minutes away. Watch.
Yeah. Am I lying?
From Clark Summit to Scranton, it's 15 minutes, maybe 20.
Yep.
Get out.
What's funny now with the maps on your phone, because now you can actually see all the different routes, and then it's all within like minutes of each other.
Oh yeah.
Average time is 15 minutes.
I think I was able, once I started driving. So, that was junior year. Then I graduated, and then I'm obviously in college, and my parents lived there. For the I don't know how many years it was driving to the time that I actually wasn't there on a regular basis anymore. Like going to my grandparents, I found like 4 different ways to get there from
Yeah.
my parents' house. Going to um, going to Iron where my sister was, or Jessup. There was like 3 different ways, 4 different ways I could get that. I found out how to get there. It's just like, you keep going and make a couple turns, you're going to end up where you want to go anyway.
Yeah, exactly. Just point it in that general direction, and
That's right.
you'll get there. You'll get there. Yeah. And I've been enjoying that too. Well, especially looking at different houses, that's kind of been putting us into different areas and stuff. But I'll just take a turn, and especially here between here and Tunkhannock, where I'm driving, you can take all sorts of different ways back and everything.
Yeah,
But
yeah.
it is pretty driving though. I mean, especially in the mornings, because all the fog now with all the moisture we've been having, that fog is just sitting in the valley, and all the mountains behind it and stuff, or
Well,
hills, as the girls would say.
the hill,
They
yeah.
corrected my parents. They're like, these are just kind of hills. I don't know if they're mountains.
Yeah.
It's like,
So 2 things on that. One, you're back there at a good time. Coming in during the spring, through the summer, and then through the fall, it's going to be great. But making that drive in like January,
yeah. It's gonna studded tires may be worthwhile. But yeah,
yeah,
I was thinking of that actually today. I was like, this could be a real mess. So
yeah. But
I think I'd stick
hey,
to 6 and 11.
I think it's going to be. I think it's going to be better than getting up at 3 o'clock in the morning in 90-mile-an-hour winds and whiteout conditions, having to go
Yeah,
plow.
it doesn't take much to beat that, thankfully. So,
You mentioned Tunkhannock. Is the brook still open? Shadow Brook?
Shadowbrook, I think it is still open. And I laughed because I've been going Lake Winola. I've been just taking like Lake Winola down. And the other day, last Friday, I took 611 all the way back in. I drove by, I'm like, oh, yeah, the Shadowbrook. There's actually a Perkins built like right on the edge
Oh,
there.
wow. Wow.
So I think it's still open, but like signs were up and everything still. But
That was senior year going there. Was it Sunday night? Sunday night, 18 to get in,
yep,
21 to
yep.
leave.
Yep,
Kid,
I partook in that. I partook in that. I didn't listen to that 21 thing, but I partook.
there, there may have been some beverages consumed in the parking lot before we went in.
Yeah. So I was just talking with my parents last night with all this. So I'm in like heavy OSHA training now, like 30-hour course right now.
Mm.
So I'm learning all the right ways to do things, evidently, with tools and pretty much everything I've been doing for like the last 20 years. I'm learning the proper ways and the safe, let's just say safe ways to do things. So I'm sitting on the computer, throughout the day. I'm like, huh, really? Okay. I'm like, I didn't do it like that. I'm like, oh, that could happen. So all this stuff, I'm like, wow. Okay, well that was a close call. Yeah, that could have ended bad. So I'm going through all that. So pretty much, and now being around here, like just seeing all these side country roads, like, oh yeah, we were down there. Like we'd stash 6 packs down this road, or oh, I had the Jeep on like 2 wheels going around this bend by the library, and like all this stuff. I'm like, the last few days, I'm like, wow, I am I am really something else to be still here on this earth right now.
Oh, it's funny you mentioned that. We do, doing trail work, right? Um, you're with a group of people, and sometimes it's people's first time there, and when it usually is, the ranger will give them a little tutorial on things, what to do and what you shouldn't do, and how to hold certain tools and how not to hold certain tools, where to stand on the trail when you're working on it, right?
Risk management.
All that risk management, and at least a few times a week when I'm out there, we like the people that have been there longer, they'll be nope, hey, nope, you're not supposed to do that. Nope, nope. Do not be down slope when you're bringing a boulder down.
Yeah. Don't kick that rock.
That's like those two things are set up about 7 or 8 times every time we're out.
Yeah.
It's awesome.
Yeah. 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 That's usually how it goes. Well, and now with my scene, like it's obvious I'm the new guy, but I've got like a crisp white hat and this sparkling bright high visibility vest, like just in case you didn't know I was new. I'm the new guy.
You should get a name tag that says "new guy" on it.
Yeah,
You'd be a smart
yeah.
ass.
You can call me Brian later, but now I'm the new guy.
You'll be the new guy for the next 6 months.
Yeah. Good times. Yeah, I want to drag it behind my truck one day just to scuff it up a little bit.
What, the vest?
The vest and the hat. Yeah,
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 just throw it out in the rain in the mud for the night.
yeah, yeah. Talk about being comfortable while uncomfortable. That's it right there.
Yeah. Speaking of uncomfortable, I volunteered at this race last Saturday,
Oh, that's right.
and it was the first running of it. It was a 4 hour round trip to get there. It's
Oh, that was like the finishing time for the winners. I saw it was
uh,
like four hours something for the
4:13.
men.
4:13 was the time of the winner. That's a
For
50K. It's 31
50K.
miles. It's 31 miles.
That's
So
ridiculous.
it was way southeast of here. Way southeast of here. Like I said, it's 2 hours. But it was a lot of climbing up in hills. I mean, it was beautiful. We went through
Wow.
a little, like, 3 different mining towns to get there, but I was at the second aid station, right at mile 9, and it was in the first. Actually, it was the first 7 miles. It wasn't even the first 7 miles. It was basically miles 5 through 7. It was 3,600 feet of climbing. It
Holy
was like
cow.
that people, and I didn't see I saw the course from the course maps and everything, but I didn't.
Yeah.
People were telling me they were climbing on all fours.
Holy cow.
Uh,
And the winner came in still with that time.
yeah, it was because it was kind of like it was 6,900 feet of climbing, and then the back half was all downhill.
Oh, okay.
So, but
So
the 6,900 feet of climbing was all in the first 17 miles.
yeah.
Uh,
Wow.
but he came because we started, my partner at the aid station, we started at 6:30, and he came cruising in around, I think it was 7:30, 7:40, came cruising in. And then
You guys were set up though?
we were set up by 7, and we were ready to go. So he came cruising in, and then there was a pack of maybe 5 people after him, and they were feeling good. And then you started getting the bigger delays. And
Yeah.
then once you got to like maybe after the first third had gone through, you started getting the people like, holy crap, what's next? What mile are we at? 9? Holy crap, we were crawling up there. Then you get the stragglers they were hurt, and they're like, holy crap. I'm sitting there going, huh. I'm kind of glad my knee got banged on, man. Jesus Christ.
I'm okay on this aid station crew.
Yeah, but it was really cool. You talk about driving around out there and seeing the beauty. This was a part of the Arizona that I hadn't been to yet, and it
Oh,
was
nice.
it was real. It was really, really beautiful. We were topping out at almost 6,500 feet, almost 7,000 feet. So
Oh,
I mean,
nice.
it
Wow.
was 100 and some degrees in Phoenix, but where we were at, and we got done around 11, it was 72 degrees, all in pine. It was canopy pine.
Oh,
It
wow.
was, yeah, it was really nice. So seeing hopefully I'm okay to do that race next year, because uh, that would be a cool one to do. But it was good to get out. It was good to help out and get back at it. But there was, because I had a gun, target, not a gun, yeah, a rate, what do you want to call it? A timing gun.
Uh,
So
oh, okay.
I was clicking their bibs every one through, and I clicked 96, and I don't think there was about 100 and some racers that
Oh,
started that
wow.
race. Maybe like 100 and I heard there was 130 that signed up, and there was probably like 110, 115 that started. So the drop rate, even though with that
That
climb,
climb there. Yeah. Wow. Huh.
yeah,
Yeah, I think volunteering is probably one of the, even if you're not into running races, just to be able to go and experience like an aid station like that
yeah,
is, it's totally worth it. I think some could be downright life changing, when you
yeah,
see some people come in. And I highly encourage, bringing your kids to, volunteer as well. Once COVID stuff even starts easing up a little more, which we're definitely moving in that direction. But I took the 3 of mine out. Gosh, this was years ago now. Like, so they were probably 5 years ago, maybe. And Cindy was gone for the day, so we just rolled up to the 50 mile, the Sheep Mountain 50 miler, for Human Potential, and we sat at mile 35 and watched as people came in, and girls are with fans, and Tanner's doing water bottles and putting ice in buffs and everything. But they're literally watching the guy come in, start puking his guts out off to the side, and just kind of taking a step back, like, Dad, is he okay? I'm like, yeah, his tummy's just sore right now. But sure enough, this guy just wipes his mouth and gets back on the road and takes off again. And
Yeah.
it was, they saw this, for them, especially at that kind of age, if you're puking, like you're getting like the royal treatment on the couch with the TV and with the washcloth on your forehead, and you get out there and like people just blowing chunks, and they still got 15 more miles to knock out, and
Yeah.
they did see, and they were aware of the conditions people were coming in, like, oh, I can't believe they went back out on it. And I was like, yep. I'm like, they're determined. It's like that's what they're here to do right now. But
Yeah.
to see that, I think that was a big step for my kids personally. And then even I did some event, and it was cold. Forget what it was, but Tanner's like, hey dad, you need ice in your buff, because that's like what he knew at the time. Like that was his
Right.
job at a crew at an aid station. I'm like, I think I'm good, man. I was like, I appreciate the offer. He's like, okay.
Well, I mean, we've had them out at, I don't even know how many events. The first one being that
Yeah.
first death race, but
Yeah, the girls were 4 months old.
yeah. So I mean, we've had the Ubaldini girls and the Shane girls and Tanner crewing along with my wives and other folks too. But we started them crewing at a very very young age and experiencing them with a lot of stuff, just like your family at uh, Silver Hills twice. We
Yep.
had the entire Shane clan at the Stagecoach, and that talk about point to point remote aid stations, life changing experience. Jesus, I mean, they were
Yeah.
you guys.
That's
You
what I
guys
was like. I think I'd rather be running this first half. And
yeah,
that's easy. Yeah,
crew,
that
yeah,
was, you talk about remote drives. I mean, Arizona, there's some gorgeous races down there, and there are some crazy approaches for a crew. But yeah,
it's
it's
amazing. The way these race directors scout these and design these races. I mean, like just this one I was at. I mean, you had you basically had our aid station was on the top of one peak, and then the other aid station was at the base of the other peak that they had to go up and down. I mean, just some, and when you're in town, because that was a point to point. When you're in the one town and you could see the mountains, you could see exactly where we were and where we
yeah, you
raced.
see the whole course.
And I'm like, how do they? I mean, it's obviously they have the tools in which to do so and experience, but it's pretty wild how they map out a course, a remote course, like something like that. It's just pretty amazing.
Oh
But
yeah.
yeah, our
Yeah,
little
it's it's mapping and then logistics from there, access
right,
wise, and yeah, roads, connection to the point, private land, avoiding or working easements out and everything. It's, yeah, the whole process is just mind-boggling.
permits and you know um, medical care, God forbid if you need it and all that stuff. But
Hmm. Hmm.
going back to that stagecoach with that little like Toyota Camry rental car.
Yeah,
Rental car.
Robin.
Yeah,
Yeah,
Robin and the girls driving. I remember driving down I-17 the day after the race with like all
just
the
caked.
dust and yeah, all the dust. Like it was like just a dust cloud going down I-17 from
Yeah.
everything on that thing.
Well, that was my rearview mirror for that whole day. Like looking back, I'm like, I think Robin's in the cloud, because I'm just kicking up dirt like
Right.
for miles, like 20 some miles at a time, and it's like I think Robin's still behind me. Like I can't tell, but yeah, that was. And then that last, when I got dropped off at that midway point of the race, that was like the grand finale for crew access points. So
I mean, that was. I think you and I were kind of talking about that once we left too, because they had at that point Cindy, Tanner, and the girls, and Robin and the girls. They were driving to the Grand Canyon, so that was probably like a 2 hour, three
at
hour drive from
least,
where they were.
yeah, yeah. I mean, just travel time and it was like off-roading with just crazy intersections. Like if they got back to the pavement, I wasn't going to be surprised, but I was very concerned that they would have been able to do that at that point, because it was after dusk and everything. And
Hmm.
that was a wild. And yeah, getting to the hotel at the Grand Canyon then.
Yeah, I think if I recall correctly, you'd know better than I would because I was delirious at that point. But I think you got a text from Cindy saying that they got to the hotel okay.
I think, yeah, you're right.
I
Yeah,
think they
yeah.
did.
So then it's like, all right, game on. Now we
Then we
could,
were like, okay.
yeah, task at hand now. Yeah. I wasn't as delirious as you were, but I went into that. I was like, all right, like this is not like fresh, crisp, like pacer for 40 miles or whatever it was. This is like I could use a nap right now.
That was yeah. It's funny
That was
because
pretty, that was cold too.
that finished line picture. You looked like you ran 100 miles too.
I was wrecked. I
That
was
was
wrecked.
that was when it got down into like the 20s at night because
Oh,
the
it's so
our
cold.
our bottles froze.
Yeah, our bottles froze, and
And
I
the hand
thought
warmer.
I thought I saved the day with hand warmers. You're like, I don't know, man. This thing's not warming up. I'm like, yeah, mine aren't either. I was like, I think they're duds.
Yeah, that was when we got to that cabin at like I think it was like mile 80 something. We got to that cabin and you had to go to the bathroom and I sat down. I got soup up cuddled up by the fire and I'm just like
This is not good. This is
uh,
so good, so
and
good, but it's not good.
and you came out and you're like, all right, let's go. We're going. We're out of here.
Yeah.
We're out of here.
Don't go into the fire.
Uh,
Yeah, yeah.
that's one I wouldn't mind doing again. That was a fun one.
That was a fun. Yeah, that was gorgeous. I mean, such a unique setting from Flagstaff all the way into the Grand Canyon. That was pretty cool.
Yeah. So, all right, dude, we've been at this probably for at least an hour.
Okay.
So, and I'm
I'm not
sure
allowed to wear watches, so I don't know.
was that in your OSHA training yet?
That is that is safety protocol. So yeah, strip down. So I wear a watch now to run. So,
That's
but
the only time I wear
that's
one
it.
too. But can you even have your phone with you?
Yeah, I got my phone, but there's confidentiality in certain areas, like certain plants that you go to. So you can have a phone, but you can't use video or photo
Do you
options.
have do you have a this is interesting because you're working as a contractor for Procter and Gamble.
Yeah, yeah.
So are you given a company phone?
Nope.
Okay,
I
so
get
it's
a reimbursement
oh, okay, okay. So you
because I
okay.
am in management level.
Uh-huh.
So yeah, I have that. But yeah, I don't have like two different phones. And my Colorado number's actually been staying quiet. So I'll probably just stick with this number. I thought I
Yeah.
was gonna have to change it out, but everything's been going pretty well.
You
So
shouldn't have to. Yeah. I mean mine's been fine out here. What was I going to say? So yeah, that's interesting that so the OSHA training you're having to go through is being pushed down for P&G, or is it
no,
train?
it's for the company. Yeah,
Okay,
yeah.
okay,
P&G, I had to go to start work there. Anybody from any company has to go through a couple hours of their own orientation
yeah.
with their procedures and everything like that. So once you go in, you have to go through that, take take a quiz, which was kind of funny. But once you pass your quiz, you're given a badge then,
Hmm.
and that you have access. Then you can swipe in and out.
Yeah, I'm sure the
So
training that you're going through for the company is critical for the company to get the contracts that they want to and need to get with a lot of
yeah,
these companies. So yeah.
yeah, and it's liability, and it's a
Yep.
lot of this is I need to have the knowledge, not just for myself, but for crews out in the
Yeah.
field while I'm out there. So that's kind of the principle behind it.
Yeah,
So
we got to go through the same thing with regards to not OSHA training, obviously, but um, ethics,
oh yeah, yeah.
obviously harassment, cybersecurity
Yep. Yep.
issues, all that kind of stuff. So we have to go through. I just had to go through. It wasn't 30 hours. It was probably about 10 hours. 10 hours of training a couple weeks ago.
Yeah.
Going
Yep.
through tests and scenarios. So yeah, a little
Yeah.
bit similar stuff, but different. But yeah, I mean, it's all liability.
Yep. Just different shapes and forms, but
Yep.
it's all legit, all applicable.
All right, dude.
So
Get
all
some
right.
sleep tonight.
Oh yeah, plan on it. So hopefully Timber's on that same guideline here. So yeah.
Well,
My
couple,
roommate.
couple more weeks we'll be out there. So
Yep. Looking forward to it. Looking forward to it. So
all right,
we'll catch up next week.
yeah, we'll check up. Thanks everybody out there. Appreciate the continued support and love.
Yep. Much love. Take care, everybody. Enjoy the summertime weather here coming up. So
All right.
later.
Have a great weekend, buddy. I'll talk to you soon.
All right. Yeah, you too, man. Much love. Bye.
Later.